how successful candidates think. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Just to introduce myself, my name's Owen. I'm a degree apprentice and I help people get degree apprenticeships in the engineering, technology and finance industries. Last year I helped students get into companies like Amazon, JLR, KPMG, HSB, Deutsche Bank. I've got some students this year and already we've helped them get into companies like KPMG and Deloitte. So basically today's video is going to be about the candidates for degree apprenticeships. So you guys who are watching this video, how do successful ones think? How do successful candidates think? So how can you think like these candidates to help yourself become successful? Okay, so this is inspired by a video I watched by a guy called Sam Ovens. You may or may not have heard of him. He runs a website called School. His name's Sam Ovens. He filmed this video which is called How Billionaires Think. Okay, and it's a very good video. It's a very good video in terms of thought processes and how to be successful. And it's tailored specifically towards business people, entrepreneurs, that sort of thing. And I really enjoyed this video. And I thought it would be relevant to you guys because I'm in contact with a lot of people who are going through the application process. Obviously, you guys through Twitter DMs, emails, YouTube comments, and also some of the students. I have about 25 to 30 students who I'm helping on a one-to-one basis, jumping on calls with them and all that sort of thing. And I think this would be very relevant because I'm noticing patterns, trends in people that are sort of roadblocks or barriers to them being successful. So I sort of wanted to repurpose this video. So this original video from Sam Ovens about how billionaires think, I'll go and put it in the description. Strongly recommend checking it out. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to repurpose sort of the concepts Sam talks about in this video and package it so that it's relevant to degree apprenticeships and relevant to aspiring degree apprentices like yourselves. Okay, so essentially, how successful candidates think, if I zoom in one more, essentially there's different levels to how people think. And the issue is, people try and make changes at the wrong level. Okay? So basically, with any sort of thing, that there's levels to it. Okay, so for example, let's take a computer. A computer, you've obviously got the laptop itself, the computer. Then it's got an operating system, so Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 8.1. Then on that operating system you have applications, so Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, Notion. You have these different applications. Then within these applications you can have different functions, like for example in Microsoft Word you can have copy and paste, you're going to have find and replace, you can have changing the font size, all this sort of thing. Okay, so there's like levels to it, and it's everything has to follow that level system. Okay, so for example, let's say you try to download Microsoft Word, but you're on an Apple operating system, like you're on Mac, it wouldn't work, right? And that's because you're trying to go at that level there where the app is, Microsoft Word, but you've got the incorrect operating system. You're on Mac, that's not compatible with Microsoft. Okay, it doesn't work. That's a mismatch there. Similarly, let's say you go to the very top level, one of these applications, you're thinking, okay, let's get a editing software application that's like super graphics heavy, but you try and do that on top of a poor foundation. You try and do that on a bad laptop. Effectively like a bad laptop from 10 years ago which has no RAM, has no memory, has nothing, and you're trying to run like 120 frames per second Adobe Premiere Pro editing software on it, it's not going to work. I think that's the best way of visualizing it, is effectively laptop, operating system, applications, functions. Okay? And it's the same thing with every skill. It's the same thing with business. It's the same thing when you do your apprenticeship applications. There's levels and you want to make sure that you have it organized, you have the great you have good foundations. So I think a lot of people I'm coming across, they have good top level skills, but they don't have good foundations. And if you don't have good foundations, it's like the whole thing crumbles. It's like a house built on sand sort of thing. Okay, you want your house built solid on rock, you need those foundations. Okay, so let's go through these. Okay, so these are the different levels, starting from the top: application hacks, application fundamentals, candidate experience, transferable skills, mental cognition, and mental awareness. And I'll explain all of these in the second half of the video. But essentially what I notice is a lot of people, they go for these application hacks. Might even be yourself watching this video. You go for that top 3 ways to get a degree apprenticeship. One top thing I can do to stand out. Like one nice little hack I can do to upgrade my LinkedIn, right? And you go for that. That's what you look for because that's the easiest one. That's top level. But the problem is if you go for one of these application hacks, okay, top 3 questions to ask the interviewer, it's not helpful if the rest of your interview is rubbish. It's not helpful if you've got no candidate experience anyway. It's not helpful if you've got no transferable skills, no mental cognition, no mental awareness. If you've got nothing below it, none of this matters. Okay, so essentially the application hacks is like the little hacks that people do, like, oh, what questions could I ask the interviewer to impress them? Okay. But it's like you still need the fundamentals. You still need to be able to do an interview. You still need to have good experience. You still need good skills. You still need good mental cognition. You still need good mental awareness. This is what I mean. People are trying to they're trying to download editing software. They're trying to do editing stuff like edit a movie on a 2004 laptop. That's what people are trying to do with this degree apprenticeship application process. Okay, because they're going too top level. They need to develop the foundations. So let me go through this. Let me explain what the foundations are. And hopefully by the end of this video, okay, you can work out which level you are and what you need to work on. Okay? Because if you have these three, the next one to work on is candidate experience. Okay? If you have these 4, then you can work on application hacks, but only when you have these 4. But if you watch the video today and you don't even have mental awareness, well then forget the hacks, forget the fundamentals. You need to focus on your mental awareness. Okay, maybe you have mental awareness, but if you don't have mental cognition, forget the hacks, forget the fundamentals, you need mental cognition. So it's basically this sort of table, these levels, you want to fill it up like this. You want to fill that up. Okay? So let's start off with mental awareness. What do I mean when I say mental awareness? Mental awareness is about your goals, your self-image, your belief systems, and your confidence. This is the pure fundamental thing that you need for your degree apprenticeship applications. Do you actually want to do a degree apprenticeship? Okay, where are your goals? Okay, do you want to do this degree apprenticeship? Is it the right path for you? Okay, because if your goals aren't in the right place, if you don't really want to do a degree apprenticeship, like maybe someone's forcing you to do a degree apprenticeship, you don't actually want to do it, you're not going to put the work in because it requires work. You're not going to put the work in. So you need that awareness of your own goals. Is this even the goal for me? Is this what I want? Is this right? Okay, then there's self-image. Because especially, it's like belief systems, confidence as well. It's, what's your self-belief like? Do you believe in yourself? Do you think you can do this? Because if straight away you come into this application process thinking you can't do it, or it's too difficult for you or something, then yeah, right, you're right. You're not going to get the offer because you have no belief in yourself. So if you have no belief in yourself, you're not going to work hard. You're not going to do the things necessary to go and get the offers. You're not going to do the interview practice. You're not going to get the experience. You're not going to get out of your way to get skills because you don't have that self-belief in yourself. And that's just straight away, okay, forget it. Right, another one is like belief systems. It's like, do you think the world is prejudiced against you? There was like a comment on my YouTube video. I ignored it because it was a stupid comment. Couple months ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, about someone saying for some certain reason about them, wouldn't I be disregarded in the application process for something that's literally irrelevant, right? Because it was sort of they basically had like a victim mentality, sort of victim mindset, which is like, oh yeah, because of a certain thing about me, they won't pick me, and it's like, no. That's just a belief you have. And it means if you have that belief, you're not going to go into the application process because you think you're not going to get picked because of some superficial reason about yourself. You're not going to get picked. That's your thoughts, right? And then you're not going to try hard. But someone else in the exact same situation, they don't have that belief. They don't have that limiting belief. They don't have that victim mindset or that victim mentality. And they're like, no, this is completely in my hands. I can put in everything here. I'm going to work super hard. And they're the ones who get the offer. Because they have that solid belief system. The belief system of 100% accountability. That's the belief system I recommend everyone has throughout their whole life. Is take 100% accountability for everything. Take responsibility for everything. Don't be blaming external people. Don't be blaming external events. Don't blame this excuse. If you're the kind of person who you're on your mental awareness level, you're making excuses about things. Oh, I didn't get this done because of this. Oh, I didn't get progress because of this. Oh, I didn't get the offer because of this. And you're talking about external factors. Then you're just a victim. It's just victim mentality. It's just victim mindset. You're not gonna get anywhere in life because you're just complaining about things. You're just expecting everything to be handed you on a plate. You think anything bad that happens to you is because the world hates you and everyone's against you. No, it's just you have a bad mental awareness. You have bad belief systems. You have faulty belief systems that seem to think the world is against you when in fact everything's in your hands. Everything you ever want and could possibly want is in your hands. You just have to do the work. Okay, and that's the mental awareness level. It's like, are these your goals? Is it your goal to get a degree apprenticeship? Self-image, belief systems, confidence. Do you have that self-belief that this is something you can do? If you don't even think this is within your grasp, this isn't even possible, you're not going to do it. For example, like let's say, okay, do you think you can become a billionaire? Let's not even say billionaire, let's say millionaire. Do you think you become a millionaire, like a self-made millionaire, like maybe start a business, become a millionaire? If at the very fundamental level, you don't think you can do it, you won't do it. Okay, because the amount of work you need to do to become a millionaire, if you don't even think you can do it, as much as you like, oh, I'll put in some work, I'll make an online business, I'll do a product here, I'll do a bit of marketing, I'll do a bit of sales. If you don't even believe it yourself, you're not going to be able to sell with 100% conviction. You're not going to stay up and wake up early and put the hours in to go and work on that business because you don't believe in yourself. If you believe, yep, it's 100% possible I can become a millionaire, I just need to put the work in, it's an inevitability that I'll become a millionaire, you're going to be working hard. So that's where you need that belief system, that confidence, which is 100%. I have it in me to get a degree apprenticeship offer. And that's when you can move up the chain. Because once you have that conviction, you have that confidence, you have that belief system, now you're actually going to work from it, and now we can start moving up. Okay, so that's mental awareness. And as we're going through these, think about where you're at. Because like if you're struggling with this, if you've got belief system problems, self-image problems, confidence problems, you don't even think you can get an offer even if you worked hard for it, then you got to sort that out, man. That's the first thing there. That's the first thing to sort out. And what I might do at the end of this video is I might put a link to some resource. I might do like a quiz or something where it's like work out which level you're at, and whatever your level at, I'll provide a resource for how you can level up from that. Okay, so maybe candidate experience is your issue. Okay, cool, I'll give you some links for some candidate experience. Maybe mental cognition is your issue. Okay, no worries, let me provide some links for mental cognition. I think I'll do something like that at the end of the video. So as I'm going through this video, have a think about where you tap out at. Okay, because maybe you'll be good for these 4, but maybe it stops here. Maybe you're good for these 4, these 5, but it stops here. Maybe you're good for these 2, stops here. Maybe you're good for this one, but it stops here. Wait to the end of the video because then I'll provide those resources for how you can level up on each of these. Okay, mental cognition. Okay, so mental awareness was effectively believing that it can be done, like believing it's possible, believing you're the kind of person who can achieve this goal of getting a degree apprenticeship offer. Okay, now that you've got that awareness and that belief, it's now onto mental cognition, because getting a degree apprenticeship offer is going to take a lot of work. It's going to take work. You're going to have to spend time doing stuff and putting in hard work. Okay, so this is where you need to have a good mental cognition. Because if you have bad mental cognition, like your mind doesn't even work, your brain doesn't even work, you don't know how to work hard, then you're not going to be able to work hard. Okay, when we get up to more of these ones, it's like, okay, what do you specifically need to do to work hard? This one is, can you even work hard? Now that's how you can think about, like, mental awareness is, should you work hard? That's the question, should you even work hard? If you don't think you should, your mental awareness is shot. But if you're thinking, yeah, I can definitely do this, this is in me, I'm going to work hard, cool. Should I work hard? Yes. Mental cognition is then, how do I work hard? Or can I work hard? And if you can't work hard because your attention span's rubbish, or maybe because your productivity is really bad, or maybe you're not motivated to work, then it's a mental cognition problem. Okay, so maybe it's like if I tell you, okay, I want you to sit down and create your UCAS personal statement, for example, okay, is that something you can get done? You can literally get that done within the space of 2 hours, or is it a case where that's gonna get procrastinated for 2 months? Or if I tell you to sit down and script some interview answers, can you, after 10 minutes, you completely lose focus and you completely phased out and you don't even know what's going on, and you like checking your messages? Like, is it, okay, I can sit down and work hard for 8 hours straight, or is it, I constantly check my phone and I scroll on social media all the time and my screen time is 8 hours a day? That's mental cognition. Can I work hard? If it's a no, all of this is irrelevant. There's no point trying to get skills, experience, fundamentals, and hacks if you can't even work hard. Because the crucial part of getting an offer is you need the ability to work hard. You need that mental cognition. And that's productivity, attention span, motivation. There's like a statistic. We now, again, I have no idea if this is true. This could just be an urban myth that gets said on the internet. But apparently we have a shorter attention span than a goldfish now. Because everyone's on TikTok, everyone's short form content, everyone's dopamine central, everyone's instant gratification central, everyone's sabotage my life central. Right, that's what's going on right now. And I'm not even blaming you. If that's you, like if you're being completely honest with yourself, yep, Owen, my screen time's 8 hours a day. Yep, Owen, I'm on TikTok all the time. Yeah, Owen, I can't even read the words in a book because my mind just goes blank. I try saying words, I try speaking to people, and I get brain fog. Like, if you experience brain fog on the regular, that's a mental cognition issue. Okay, brain fog, you shouldn't be getting brain fog. Brain fog is like that's a new thing. That's in like brain frog, brain frog. I mean brain fog, like where your mind goes blank and you just can't think of anything, or your attention span being really rubbish. You get distracted. You can't focus on something for a long period of time. You have like this sort of hyper attention disorder sort of thing. That's all mental cognition. Shouldn't be a thing. It's because of social media and all this sort of stuff. Okay. So if this is your level now, where you're like, okay, I've got the mental awareness, I believe I can do it, but I just can't work hard because my attention span is really bad, my focus is really bad, okay, then it's mental cognition that you need to work on. That's the next step you need. Okay, mental cognition. Now, if you've got that mental cognition so you can work hard, okay, so you have that work ethic, you're motivated to do things, your productivity, attention span, all this sort of thing, the next one is transferable skills. You need transferable skills because you can be the hardest working person alive, the hardest working fella alive, but if you've got no skills, why does anyone want to hire you? Okay, and also, are you going to do well in the application process? No, because you've got no skills. You need these transferable skills. Let me give you some examples. The examples I'm talking about are things like communication. Okay, this is a transferable skill you need. Again, people focus on these application hacks. What's the top answer I can do to this interview question? What's the top thing I can say to this interview? And it's like, those, if you don't have communication skills, if you don't have this base layer of good communication, it's completely irrelevant. Forget the hacks. Forget the top 3 question I'm going to ask the interviewer at the end of my interview. Forget the what tie should I wear, right? Forget the what dress code should I wear. Forget the should I message the interviewer on LinkedIn after the interview. It's irrelevant. Message the interviewer on LinkedIn after your interview all you want. You're not going to get the job if you don't have good communication skills because you haven't demonstrated yourself well in that interview. Like, these transferable skills are so fundamental. Communication skills. How do you come across in an interview? Can you sort of advertise yourself? That's what an interview is, really. It's sort of advertising yourself. Can you communicate your points? Can you show off how good you are as a candidate through your communication? Can you articulate your points? Okay, parts of the degree apprenticeship application process, you might have a presentation you have to do, or a case study which you sort of have to read some information and present it back to the assessor. How good's your communication skills there? Are you good at doing that presentation, or are you awful at doing that presentation? Teamwork, right? Yeah, a lot of these you have to do a group exercise in the application process. How good's your teamwork? Right? Are you good at working within a team? Or are you not good at working within a team? If you're not good at working with a team, you're not going to be good in the group exercise. And you're not going to be good working for that company in the first place. They're not going to want somebody who can do teamwork. How's your numerical skills? Okay, we can look at all these different fundamentals and hacks later when we get to like the online test, the interviews. But it's like, if you can't even do numerical skills, by the time you get to numerical reasoning, it's not going to work. You're not going to be good at it. Okay, what are your verbal skills like? Similarly with communication. What's your verbal comprehension, your verbal reasoning like? What's your problem solving skills like? Like, I'll give you a mini example right now. A lot of people message me, and it's a thing like, oh, Owen, so I was doing my Arctic Shores assessment and I completed it, but then they told me that it hadn't been completed. What do I do? Why are you asking me? Solve the problem yourself. Okay, if you've completed the assessment, they've said it hasn't been completed. Well, join the dots together. Obviously, something's gone wrong with the software. How to solve the problem? Drop them an email saying, I completed your assessment. I'm wondering if there's an issue here. Oh, yeah, no, there's an issue. Sorry, let's send you the link again. You can do it again. Okay. And it's like the proactive candidates who have more than 5% problem solving skills can join those dots and do it together themselves rather than messaging me, leaving a comments. And like, I'm not having a go at you guys. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but it's like, what do you want me to do? Lie to you? I would rather just give you the brutal, honest truth. It's the same with everything. I'd rather have brutal honesty where I'm going to be honest, I'm going to call you out, but it's going to help you improve. Okay? I'm going to call you out, just do the same with me, but it's like, I'll give you criticism because from that criticism you can go and improve. If you've got a growth mindset, you're going to agree with me here. If you've got a fixed mindset, you don't want to improve, fair enough, you don't have to watch me. Okay, that's fine. But it's like, use the problem solving skills, connect the dots. Right? It's like sometimes people message me saying, yeah, Owen, I tried to do this application, but like it wouldn't let me create an account. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do about that? It's like, do I work for that company? No. Am I a software engineer? No. I'm a random guy who makes random videos on YouTube. So how about you solve the problem yourself? And I don't know, maybe it's a crazy statement, maybe it's a crazy suggestion, but I don't know, go and email that company and ask them what to do. Or email that company and send them a screenshot of what the error message that comes up. And it's simple things like this. It's like, if you don't have the problem solving to solve a problem when like there's a technical glitch on one of your application forms, how do you expect to solve a problem in your assessment center? How do you expect to solve a problem in your logical reasoning test? How do you expect to solve a problem when you're working at that company? You need these fundamental problem solving skills. Hey, Owen, my CV PDF file just corrupted. What do I do? I don't know. Just solve the problem yourself. Maybe try it again. Maybe literally Google on the internet for like 3 seconds. It's another, like, guys, I know it's like I'm having a rant right now, but I'm trying to help you guys, because I don't want someone getting rejected over something stupid like this, something silly like this. It's like people will comment on my YouTube videos, or they'll send me an email or whatever saying, "Oh, what applications are open right now?" I don't know. Why don't you just Google it for 5 seconds? It's like when you guys leave like a comment under my YouTube videos, I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Sometimes there's positive messages, really appreciate it. And sometimes there's really good questions like, "Owen, I'm in this specific situation, what should I do?" Or, "Owen, how should I answer this specific question?" Or, "Owen, what should I do here?" Cool. Those are really great questions. More than happy to answer them. And I really do appreciate your comments. When it's a comment like, "Hey, Owen, what apprenticeships are open right now?" Well, have you Googled it for 5 seconds? Another one's like, "Do you know what grades are required for this degree apprenticeship?" It's like, I know just as well as you do. Like, just Google it for 5 seconds and find out. And if you Google it for 5 seconds and you don't find out, then I'm probably not going to know either. Right? So it's like communication, teamwork, numerical, verbal, problem solving, and also just a bit of independence as well. Just a bit of independence, being able to do it on your own. Okay, these basic things. Like, obviously, if you want the interview support, 100%, I'm here to help you, man. Leave me a comment, any questions, happy to answer. But it's the simple things. It's the things you could Google within 5 seconds. Just join the dots yourself, man. Okay? So that's transferable skills. Now, once you have those transferable skills, you can move on to candidate experience. Okay? Candidate experience, things like work experience, extracurriculars, online courses, and all this sort of thing. Okay? If you don't have these transferable skills, this is kind of irrelevant. Because it's like, if you have work experience, but you have no communication skills, it's like you're not going to be able to communicate what you did in that work experience anyway. You're not going to be good in that work experience. You're not going to get good examples. And even if you did, by the time you get to your interview, it doesn't matter how good the work experience is, because you're not going to be able to communicate it across to that assessor. Okay, you need these transferable skills as a base, and then the candidate experience on top of that. So that's things like work experiences, extracurricular, online courses, the kind of things which you're going to mention on your CV. Okay, and the reason these come next is because the application fundamentals we're going to get into in a moment, like, oh, interview skills, how good are you with interviews, how good are you at writing a CV, they all rely on you having experience. Like, if you don't have any experience at all, then obviously you're not going to have anything to write in your CV. You're not going to have anything to write in your cover letter. You're not going to have any examples for your interview, which is why you need that candidate experience as a base there. Okay, and then after that candidate experience, then we move on to application fundamentals. Okay, and I think the two ones where people focus on the most, like the two people in, like the two places in my audience who I think you guys, it's I'm not blaming you, like 100% fair enough, right? But I think the two ones you focus on most are application hacks and application fundamentals. But you just need to make sure you have all of these first. Okay, because an interview means nothing if you don't have good communication skills. And honestly, communication skills, they're not going to take you anywhere unless you have good self-image and good confidence. Because I've been noticing recently in interviews, there's people who don't have much confidence. Like, they're very unconfident with their interviews. Now, that comes from a mental awareness issue. It's like, I can try and help as much as I can with how to structure your answers, what to do in interviews and all this sort of thing. But it's like it requires this mental awareness layer to be there in the first place. It requires that self-image, that belief in yourself that, yes, I can do this, I have it in me. Once you have that confidence, that's going to then cascade up into hopefully better mental cognition, hopefully better communication, you're doing more of this, and better interviews there. Okay, I'll give you another example. One thing I'm noticing, and this is definitely something that I think would have affected me back in the day, is a lack of energy. a lack of energy in people's interview answers. People are very solid, very not solid in a good way. Like, I know solid can be a good word. Like, oh yeah, that was solid, man. Yeah. No, I mean like solid as in stiff, stiff, stiff. That's a better word for it. Stiff, robotic, lackluster energy. Things like sort of hands in their pockets. Yeah. So the reason I want to do a degree apprenticeship is because I would like to do real life projects where I'm going to make an impact on the world. I've read about how in 2023 you're like, it's that sort of energy. Okay, that's what people are giving off, right? And the reason they're giving off that is because, okay, they have good application fundamentals. They know how to answer and structure these questions, but their communication skills aren't great, and they're not really good at doing energy in their communication. Now, where does that come from? Where does their lack of energy come from in terms of their communication? It comes from their mental awareness, because somewhere in there, they have a belief system which is causing them to not have energy. And I've mentioned this in a previous video. I think I know what this is, and it's something that definitely affected me. Throughout school, we were taught... I want to say indoctrinate, but that's probably the wrong word. But I think we were taught... no, you know what? Taught's not the right word. Conditioned, that's the word. We were socially conditioned to not show energy. Because, like, think about it, right? If you're in a history lesson and there's this guy putting his hand up and he's asking questions and he's getting really passionate about it, what's he going to get called? He's a nerd, right? He's a nerd. All the cool kids in the class or whatever, they're labeling him as a nerd. So most likely you, I mean, it was definitely me, I can speak for myself, is like, you're going to suppress that energy, suppress that interest, suppress that passion, because you don't want to be a nerd or whatever, because you've been labelled by these like cool kids as a nerd, and there's a social conditioning. You want to try and be a bit cool. You don't want to be that try-hard guy. Like, there's a whole culture in school which is, don't be the try-hard. Right, there's a culture in school, like, if you're doing well in exams or you're doing homework to a high ability or whatever, you're a try-hard. Definitely in 7 to 11, I think. Maybe it was a bit less in year 12 to 13 as people stopped caring as much and they just became more serious. But definitely in year 7 to 11, man, definitely. Like, if this was definitely me, man, because my mock exams in year 7, year 8, and year 9, I tried hard for. There were like mocks I did in year 8 where I got like 100% on some of the exams, right? And in year 7 as well, to be fair. And I was getting a lot of stick for that, man. I was getting a lot of stick for that. Because I'm the tryhard, I'm the nerd, right? Okay, fine. And I think that would have socially conditioned me after that to then not be less of a tryhard, because I'd still try and do well in exams. Like, I'm not just going to suddenly flop my exams because I'm being pressured into it, but it's like, do it more secretly. So just stick to myself a bit more. Okay? Be a bit less openly passionate. Be a bit less openly energetic or something. And maybe that's a reason, like, I'm pretty introverted now. I'm basically like, I much prefer just being on my own, being an introvert. I'll be honest, that could just be social conditioning from year 7, year 8, and year 9, and year 10, and year 11. Probably is, right? That's my social conditioning. I just got socially conditioned from those sort of stuff that happened to me in year 7 and year 8, where people were like giving me stick for being a tryhard and a nerd and all this sort of stuff. Okay, now I'm introverted. Cool, right? And I think that might be a similar situation with this energy situation. A lot of people are very unenergetic. They're not putting any passion into their interviews because they've been socially conditioned by school to not be energetic, because it's cringe, it's nerdy, it's try-hardy if you actually care about something, if you're passionate about something. It's a shame, but it's like, it's what school is, man. And you'll realise once you're over 18, no one cares about anything. Just you do you and stick and do what you want to do. But I get it. It's year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You're getting peer pressure, like whatever. Social pressure, fine. Okay? But that's where you need to sort out the mental awareness, because if that's you, if you find it cringe to be passionate about something, if you find it cringe to have energy, if you find it cringe to like talk about something you're passionate about with energy in front of a camera, that is a mental awareness issue. It's a mental awareness issue. There's some sort of self-belief there that you need to sit still and be quiet. It's like with school. All they told us at school was just sit still and be quiet and cross your legs in assemblies. Right? That's another part of social conditioning. So that's not a thing from other students. That's a thing from school. And I don't agree with it. Like, that's all school was. Don't run around in the playground because it's dangerous. Okay? Don't play football in the playground because it's dangerous. You could break a window. Right? Sit still in assembly. Be quiet. And it's like, you wonder why we have an obese population. Right? You wonder what... I'm honestly going to get into a rant about society sort of thing, but it's irresponsible from schools. It's irresponsible from schools all this. You can't run around in the playground. You can't play football in the playground. You have to like stand there and be like nice boys and just talk to each other. But then when it comes to class and assemblies, you have to sit in silence and sit still, and you can't do anything. And that's basically that's the kind of belief systems and self-image that we've not, like, it's not our fault, it's we've been conditioned this way, but that's the self-images and belief we now have, and that's now cascading up the tree. Because we have bad self-image, because we have bad belief systems, because we have bad confidence, it means now all of this is just bad, and it means by the time we get to interviews, we have bad interviews, man. And I hope this is like flicking a switch in some people. It's like, okay, you want to get better at interviews, sure, go and practice more interviews, fine. Like, I don't disagree with you, but also have a look down this tree, because maybe it's some sort of childhood trauma, social conditioning, mental awareness thing that's messing it up. And like, if you psychoanalyze yourself, you look at your past and be like, actually, there's a reason for this. Boom, there you go. Okay, I can give you another one. I'll give you another example. Okay, another example where people look for solutions here, but the solution's actually down here. Okay, and I'll admit, I might be guilty of this, because this is something I've been thinking about filming this video in the past couple of weeks. Past week, I want to say. Past week. And I think most of my videos for the past 2 years have been on application hacks and application fundamentals. Actually, it's probably these three. Most of my videos have been on these three, okay? So I take responsibility for this. I take responsibility as like, I should have mentioned this earlier. Okay? I hadn't really thought of it, but like now I've realized it. It's like in hindsight, okay, we should have gone down the tree. Okay, so I obviously took us up the tree, but I also need to do it now. So that's why I'm making this video, and I'm also doing more videos on this. So for example, earlier today I filmed a video on speaking skills, which will hopefully cover that communication one. 1 or 2 months ago I filmed a productivity video, which will hopefully cover that one. I filmed a video on stoicism, which I may or may not release. I haven't decided yet, which is to do with belief systems. I filmed another video last week to do with motivation. Again, not sure if I'm going to release that or not, but I'm trying to try out more content now, which is further down this ladder, because I think this is where people are really struggling, because no one talks about this stuff. No one talks about this on the internet. It's like the levels of sort of the degree apprenticeship space, and I could be wrong here, but this is my analysis of like the industry. If we're going to call it an industry, it's like application hacks. That's TikTok. Okay, everyone on TikTok is just, they're giving application hacks. I think the way I was able to gain a few subscribers, like I wasn't expecting. I'm at like 2,000 subscribers. I was expecting to be at like 100 at this stage. I think the reason why I was able to gain a few more people than I expected was because I opened up a space that no one else was in. I focused on these two spaces here. TikTok, everyone and your uncle, right, has a TikTok account. Day in the life of a degree apprentice. I haven't really gone down that route really at all, okay, because I noticed application hacks, it's irrelevant. What's more important is application fundamentals and candidate experience. So that's why I was able to grow, is because I focused on this part which no one else focused on. Everyone else was just hacks. But now I'm noticing that I should have gone further. Right, I've looked at it. I should have gone further, man. And that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to rectify and trying to help you guys out, because again, no one talks about this stuff. So hopefully we'll leave this one here for TikTok. All the application hacks, that's what we can use our TikTok for. And then hopefully on this channel, I can help you guys with all of these things, basically full stack. I want to go full stack for you guys, give you everything you need to know. Okay? Let me give you another one. I think I said I was going to give you another one, and then I went on a whole nother tangent about whatever I was talking about. But let me give you another one, for example. Interviews, a lot of thing I'm seeing from people is, hey, Owen, I'm really good with in-person interviews. I'm really comfortable with in-person interviews, but virtual interviews I really struggle with. Okay, cool. Virtual interviews you really struggle with. And then how can I do this? And it's like, we'll just try and get better at interviews. Okay, sure. That's the application fundamentals, but it's like, it's probably something below that. Like, it's a bit of a weird thing, but if you're telling me that you're good with normal interviews, in-person interviews, but you're bad with video interviews, then it's not an interview issue. Like, it's not an interview issue, because if you're good with in-person interviews, you're good with interviews. In-person interviews and video interviews are the same. Like, there's minor differences, but at the end of the day, it's basically the same questions. It's not an interview issue. It's not an application fundamental issue. What it is most likely one of these issues down here. So if you fall into that bracket, you're absolutely fine with in-person interviews, but when it comes to a video, when it comes to virtual, you don't know what you're doing. Maybe it's a communication thing. Like, it will be a communication thing. You're just not good at communicating online or over the internet, or rather than in a conversation, which you like when it's in person, you can get a bit more conversational. You're not very good at speaking in a monologue sort of way. And when I say in a monologue sort of way, if it's a video interview, it's just you. Monologue, mono, one. Logos is the Greek for word. One word, it's like you. I'm pretty sure that's what the etymology is of it. So maybe your communication is not very good virtually. Now, it goes deep. It's not just a case of, okay, go and sort out your virtual communication, because it goes deep. It penetrates deeper than that. The reason your communication is bad virtually is potentially because you have some certain belief systems, or you have some sort of self-image, or you have some sort of confidence thing. Like you have some belief systems that maybe you're not very good at speaking virtually, or just you have low confidence in speaking virtually, or there's something there. And that's where you need to go and have a think. Like you have to psychoanalyze yourself. You have to look at, okay, where am I in life? What's happened to me? What's gone right? What's gone wrong? What was my childhood like? What have I been socially conditioned to do? Most people won't do this. 99% of people, by the way, have already clicked off this video because this is a very in-depth, detailed topic. It's a long video as well. There's no dopamine. Unfortunately, there's no Subway Surfers at the bottom. There's no GTA, the cars going down a ramp. There's none of that at the bottom. It's just pure education, right? So 99% of people have clicked off. Out of the 1% who are remaining, probably only 90% are actually going to do this. Okay, and I hope that's you. If you're still watching, I hope you do this step, which is after this video. Go and do this mental awareness check. What's happened to you in life? What's good that's happened to you? What bad has happened to you? Why do you have your beliefs? Like you're going to have certain beliefs about the world. Why do you have those? Okay, there's a quote I'm looking for. It's like, you question all your beliefs except the ones you truly believe, or something like that. And it's talking about the beliefs you have. You need to question every single belief you have, even the ones you genuinely truly believe. You need to find out where they came from. So it's like if you work out, I have a belief inside myself that I'm scared of public speaking. That's a mental awareness level. Like if you're scared of public speaking, like if you're scared of interviews, it's most likely not the interviews you're scared of. It's most likely communication you're scared of. Okay? And if you're scared of communication, it's most likely not communication you're scared of. It's most likely there's some sort of self-image, belief systems, confidence problem. Okay, do you see what I mean? Like, if you're scared of interviews, it's not interviews. It's not even communication. It's some, like, social conditioning, upbringing, trauma thing. Like, that's how deep it is. That's how deep it is. And again, maybe I'm guilty of this because when I say people like, okay, you're scared of interviews, just do more of them, that's a very basic level. And I'm realizing now we need to dig deep. You need to dig deep into your past, your conditioning, your upbringing, and find the bottom of this. Because maybe the reason you're scared of public speaking was because once in year 8, you did a presentation and like the cool kid in the class, like the rugby A captain or what, A team captain or whatever, he laughed about you and then he got the whole class to laugh at you. And that traumatized you and it humiliated you and it embarrassed you. And now ever since you've hated public speaking. Maybe that's what it is, because of one traumatic event. It's now cascading up. It's affecting your communication. It's affecting your interviews. It's affecting your degree apprenticeship offer. It's affecting your future. So the best thing you can do, rather than leave it fester and just let it continue to burn everything down, you need to go straight to that source and you need to sort this out. You need to overcome that. You need to let it go. It's like me being worried about other people's opinion was something I 100% had. Like I was worried about other people's opinion because I didn't want to be the tryhard. I didn't want to be the nerd. I didn't want to be disrespected by people. I didn't want to be made fun of by people. I didn't want to be unpopular. And that's caused a whole bunch of beliefs, right? That those beliefs caused a whole bunch of effects, like being scared of public speaking, like being scared of doing what I want to do. But it's like now that in the past 18 months, I've gone through and assessed those beliefs and I've worked them out and I've let them go. It's like, now I don't care. Now I don't care about public speaking because that social conditioning, I've let it go. I've got rid of it. Me worrying about what other people think, like that was one of the, everyone wanted to start a YouTube channel back in the day, right? I wanted to do it when I was in like year 6, right? In year 7 but it was about what other people think of me. And like, oh, yeah, you get bullied for starting a YouTube channel, right? People would take the mick, right? Okay, so I don't make a YouTube channel for 5 years. Fine. Okay. So then do I not make another one for another 5 years or another 10 years? Or it's like, that's what I could have done. I could have not made a YouTube channel now because I'm still worried about what people think. But no, go down to my belief systems, work out, okay, I have the social conditioning because these things happened to me when I was younger. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to sort it out. I don't care what people think anymore. Okay, I'm starting a YouTube channel. There we go. Cold. I don't know why I said cold. That was not the word. I meant okay. Right? Really dig deep. Really dig deep. Go into like, this is super deep, but it's like, what should I say? Past trauma. I think that's the best way of me describing this. Past trauma. I'll add in focus here as well. Go and have a look at it. Sort out that mental awareness. Okay, so let's come back up here then. Application fundamentals. That's where, like, okay, how do you do good in interviews? How do you do good in group exercises? How do you do good in CVs? How do you do good in cover letters and online tests? Okay. Pretty fundamental. You need to know these. As I said, if you've got no work experience or anything, this is all irrelevant. If you've got no work experience, your CV is going to be trash. No matter how good you write it, it's going to be trash. If you've got no communication, your interview's going to be bad no matter what. If you've got no productivity, you're not even going to write a CV or a cover letter because you don't have the focus or the attention span to actually sit down for longer than 2 hours and write a CV. And if you don't have the belief, you're not going to put in any of the work at all. Okay? Fundamentals. Okay. How to write a CV, what to include, how to structure interview answers, what to say in group exercises, what to put in cover letters, how to successfully complete online tests. Those are the fundamentals. Then we get to the application hacks. And this is the bit people focus on too much. I discussed it in a podcast I did with one of my students from last year who I helped get into HSBC and Deutsche Bank. I discussed it with him on a podcast. I did some videos on the YouTube channel, which you can go and watch. People just focus on the hacks. Hey, Owen, what questions should I ask the interviewer at the end, right? Oh, Owen, what can I do to optimize my LinkedIn profile? The key one I like, which I get in emails and YouTube comments is, hey, Owen, can you give me some top tips to stand out in the application process? and these things are great. Like, these things are good. These things are good. Okay, can you ask the interviewer some really good questions at the end? Awesome. That's going to help increase it. Can you have a good LinkedIn profile? Awesome, bro. Make a better LinkedIn profile and you'll increase your chances. Do some specific top tip to stand out. Awesome, you'll increase your chances. But here's the thing. If you do these with none of this, it is completely irrelevant. It's completely not even relevant, off the charts, couldn't care less. Think about this. Let's say you have a stellar LinkedIn profile. You did like a specific thing. You had a specific tagline. You had like a professional photo taken. You did a really specific thing for your banner. You did like a specific thing for your about section. You got like these extra things which I've referred to in previous videos. What do I call them? What are they called? It's like references. The word is references, but it's for LinkedIn. Recommendations? I don't know. It's some I can't remember. It's been a while since I've looked at LinkedIn. But it's like these extra things which I've mentioned. References, recommendations, referrals, or whatever on LinkedIn. Cool. Those are top things. But if you literally have an awful CV, irrelevant. Or if you can't answer interview questions, it's irrelevant. No one cares about your LinkedIn. No one cares about that. Similarly, you can have like this all good, but it's like if you don't have any good work experience or extracurriculars, it's irrelevant. It's like this is all good, but if you don't have good communication, teamwork, numerical problem solving skills, they're not going to hire you regardless. Okay? If you don't have a good productivity attention span, you're not even going to do the work you need to get a degree apprenticeship. And if you don't even have the self-image, it's like you're not going to put the work in to actually do all this stuff here above. Like you need everything. And I want you watching this video now, as I said at the end, I'm going to put like a quiz up or something or whatever. Go up the scale like this. Go up the scale. Okay? This hacks is the last thing you need. This is like, for example, people saying, oh, my CV, should I like make it completely blank, like black and white? Or should I put it in a fancy template maker? Should I pay $10 for this website that makes me a fancy CV that has like a little blue strip and it has like a green thing and it has like a little circular photo thing and it has like a nice little logo? Should I do that or should I do black and white? And it's like, that's a valid question to ask once it's a valid question once like you're at that stage. But don't tell me when you haven't even written a CV that, oh yeah, how can I make my CV look more professional with some little cute little hack? Write the CV, like I've said this the whole time. When you're writing a CV, number one, get the fundamentals right. Write that CV. Boom. Once the CV's done, then start worrying about all this sort of stuff, like the little hacks you can do. I say it with presentations as well. For these degree apprenticeship assessment centres, a lot of them you're going to have to prepare a presentation. Don't ask me about, okay, Owen, what colour should I make the slide? Oh, should I do the little vortex transition? I don't care. Forget that's extra stuff there. The first things first is spend 4 hours making your presentation. Okay? Once you have the presentation made, it's black and white. Maybe it even looks bad. Maybe it looks boring. Whatever. It's black and white. Then do the little cute hack of adding in some nice cute transitions and animations and little colours. But spend the 4 hours here first. And now you see where I'm going. If you can't spend the 4 hours there, it's because your mental cognition's not lacking, sort of thing. Like it's all just a cascade. You need to go up this chain. Okay? I've enjoyed this video. This has been a fun video to make because I think it's important. And I wanna take this channel in a way that's sort of full stack. Like that's the one I'm gonna call it, full stack. Okay, as I sort of summarized before, that's TikTok. If you guys just want the hacks, I'm more than happy for you to unsubscribe from the channel and go on TikTok and watch a bunch of TikTok videos. More than happy. Okay. What I've done previously on the channel is I've focused on these 3 things: candidate experience, fundamentals, and hacks. Now, going forward, I'm going to focus on all of these. And I think it will make views drop. It will make subscribers drop because these 3 things in particular do not entice people. I mean, to be fair, these 2 people don't entice people. Like, that's why on TikTok you can get people with like 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 subscribers on TikTok because like the application hacks are cool. Like they sell. They're really interesting, right? These, they're a bit less so. So it's like, obviously on YouTube I'm going to be less. Fine, whatever. It's going to be even less now. But I think for those of you who keep watching, and you guys who actually want to invest in your education and you want to do the best you can and you want to achieve your potential, then I would be being irresponsible if I did these 3. This one gets you views. This one also kind of gets you views. This one doesn't get you views. So yeah, I'm just saying it because it's been on my mind. It's just, I don't want to, like, now that I know this information, I'm aware of it and I've articulated it in my head and I've understood it, I'm not just going to ignore it. So if there's more videos coming out like this one, I mean, this has sort of been a general overview video, but I'm going to do more videos. I think the next one I might release after this is going to be a speaking skills video, so specifically on communication. And I might do more on ones like these because this mental awareness one really interests me. It really interests me because there's deep social conditioning rooted there. Again, I have a motivation video. I'm not sure if I'm going to release it yet because it goes quite deep. It goes very deep. So I don't even know if I want to release that. Maybe I'll reshoot it and refilm it or whatever. I don't know. But that's where I'm going to take the channel. I'm now going to be taking this full stack approach to getting you guys degree apprenticeship offers. Because that's what's going to help you guys the most. And for those of you who decide to stick around and you think this is the direction you want to continue watching in, great. It's great to see you here. And I'd love to help you, and I'm honoured to have the opportunity to help you guys. Honoured to have this opportunity presented before me. Very grateful for it. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll insert like a little clip at the end explaining how you can do like a short quiz, or maybe it's a quiz, or maybe it's just a Notion document. I don't know. I'll work something out, and hopefully there'll be some resources there, and maybe I'll put like a feedback form for a bit of feedback. I don't know. I'll work it out. I'll put a clip here at the end now. So I'll see you in a second. But from me at the present moment, from me and my present self, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the opportunity for letting me film these YouTube videos for you, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Hey guys, so I've put together a quiz where you can work out which level you are and what you need to work on. That's going to be in the next video. If you want to watch that now, go click right down there below. If it's not out yet, just subscribe and it'll be out in 1 or 2 days. Hope this helps, and go click this now to go and watch episode 2 and see which level of this stage, this hierarchy you're at. Take care. Have a good one. Take care.